Preyas is the worst Bakugan in the history of BakuProject. I'll be explaining why he's so bad aggressively, passively, and very inconsistent. Let's first take a look at Preyas' kit. Preyas has access to 3 blue stealth ability cards and 1 Preyas character card. Now on paper, both of them are not too bad. Blue stealth allowing Preyas to get a 50G conversion on an opponent Bakugan, as well as nullifying their gate card, and Preyas character card doubling his power level. However, Preyas is an attribute changer, which means that whenever he's thrown onto a gate card, he has a 1 in 3 chance to change into the desired attribute that you want him to. This makes it especially difficult on offense when you need a better hand in order to defeat the opposing Bakugan, and on defense because if he's on his character card and he doesn't have any attribute cards that he needs, then he's just a sitting duck waiting to get his gate card nullified and ultimately losing the battle. These are the attributes Preyas can transform into, with the attribute that it starts at being written. As we can see, Preyas will start as one attribute, and whenever it lands on a card, it has a 1 in 3 chance to get the attribute that you want, and a 2 in 3 chance to get the attribute that you don't want. Meaning every time you roll Preyas onto the field, you're gambling on whether or not you get the desired attribute. This is generally what a Preyas deck would kind of look like. He would have 2 blue stealth in the top left corner, as well as multiple special Bakugan ability cards, and ultimately 3 attributes worth of attribute ability cards, and a lot of attribute gate cards. Now, Preyas needs these attribute gate cards because it'll allow him to forcefully convert himself into the desired attribute that you have ability cards for. However, the downside to having this many attribute cards is that if Preyas dies, you're most likely going to be bricked with attribute ability cards. And what that means is that you'll probably draw ability cards that you can't use. We will now be taking a look at Preyas both offensively and defensively through NPCs. In this situation, I've thrown Preyas onto his character card. He's turned into the attribute Subterra, which is less than ideal because I wanted Darkus. Masquerade aggresses me with Darkus Reaper, and I activate my character card. Reaper then nullifies my gate card, and I have to use Terra Crunch in order to be at level G's with it again. However, Masquerade uses Dark Eye Superior and nullifies my Terra Crunch, leaving me lower G's than him and unable to do anything. In this situation, I play offensively with Preyas. I throw Preyas onto Masquerade's Dual Hydronoid card, and Preyas turns into Darkus. I wanted Preyas to turn into Subterra because I have more Subterra cards that can help him. I let Masquerade open his gate card, which is a Darkus 100 card, which boosts both of us. I then use Oregano Revenge in order to get ahead of Masquerade's Dual Hydronoid's G's, and Masquerade counters with Spiced Assault, allowing him to over G me. I then have to use Blue Stealth because Blue Stealth allows me to transfer 50 Gs from Dual Hydronoid to my Preyas while negating the gate card. However, Masquerade also has Eye to Eye, which drops my Preyas by 200 Gs. And ultimately, Preyas is left again, a sitting duck, unable to do anything to win that battle. Let's take a look at another defensive scenario where Preyas has landed on his character card and turned into the attribute of Aquos. Dan lands on my character card and has a Pyrus Serpenoid. Dan continues to use more and more ability cards, allowing him to overpower my entire character card. I then have to dive Mirage out,
ability card. Activate.
And am forcefully dragged back to my character card where I can't do anything. Let's take a look at this final scenario where Preyas is thrown onto Dan's Pyrosaurus card
Bakugan, stand.
and turns into the attribute of Subterra. This is the ideal attribute because I have a lot of Subterra attribute cards that can boost Preyas. Preyas then gets boosted multiple times and overpowers Pyrosaurus. This is, however, a very lucky scenario because not only do I have a lot of Subterra cards, but I also got the attribute that I wanted from Preyas.
Activate.
Both the gameplays and my explanations should show you why Preyas is a very bad Bakugan in BakuProject. The attributes that it changes into are very inconsistent. The amount of ability cards you need to bring to just use Preyas alone is tremendous, and you have a high risk of losing Preyas. And whenever he changes into an attribute, there's a high chance that you don't get the attribute that you want. The character card is good, but it's not enough to carry Preyas. And ultimately, Blue Stealth, you can't really rush with Preyas, so Blue Stealth is very unusable.